The Pistons are taking on the Sixers. Tip-off is just a few minutes.
World. 76ers, a bit of a mash unit. They've got a bunch.
How are they going to muscle up against the Pistons?
Pistons, a strong bunch.
Built in the third quarter. They were all business against Brooklyn. They took then the whole Brooklyn Nets team. So focus is there for the Pistons.
What a good start for Detroit. Cade Cunningham. Philadelphia's last game was a win 2 days ago. They took down Memphis. High-scoring affair. They scored 139. First shot of the... Here's everyone's favorite veteran, Tobias Harris. Duncan Robinson. Harris had a rebound snatched away. Numbers advantage for Philadelphia. And Edgecombe wants a do-over. Last touch by Grimes. On the road, they've been equally good. 22-10 on the road. Harris, first two for the veteran.
Set up Cunningham, two defenders going with him on the pick, and Tobias finds himself in the mid-range, capable there of knocking it down.
Barlow got it on top of Cunningham. Yeah, no Embiid, no Kelly Oubre. Paul George suspended. Of more recent vintage, Tyrese Maxey out. There's the first bucket for Duran, who's all smiles.
Duncan Robinson, because you can throw it anywhere, and the finish by Jalen, one-handed.
Duran now with exactly 150 dunks on the year. It's the Piston teams that lead the NBA in dunks. They average 7.5 dunks per game. That's a big...
Hey, do you know the player who's leading? Oh, goodness.
No, Duran or it's Gobert.
Okay.
Duncan Robinson doing Duncan Robinson things.
Yeah, the Pistons off to a great start down the floor so far against Philly.
Watford lost it, got it back, scores at the left hand. Here's Sasser getting the start. Thompson is out for a little bit, turned his ankle a couple of days ago. Let's go. In Philadelphia. Watford. Grimes. Edgecombe. Harris lost it on the way out. Run it. It's Barlow. Edgecombe showing off that athletic ability.
How about VJ Cunner with the follow-up?
And Sasser hoping for a whistle that never came. It does stay with Detroit. Cunningham scored the game's first bucket. That's been his only shot attempt. 3.5 minutes into our contest. Harris's second stint here in Detroit. It's been a success.
They're going to be in the hole, having to come out and chase down shooters to contest. Both Duncan Robinson and Tobias Harris may have opportunities there.
Watford's pass finds its way to Barlow. Shot clock's at 4. Barlow has to fire. Detroit doubling their pleasure. Looking to get greedy. Duran missed the layup. There's a reason for that. He was fouled.
Really good read by Duncan Robinson coming off that pick, full speed, and how much better he's gotten. And so this system allowing...
Currently favored 16.5.
Accomplishment that would be for JB and the staff. They got a great opportunity to have some recovery.
So much more than just a spot-up shooter.
To the lane. Nice score there.
Robinson's first year in Detroit after spending 7 years playing for Eric Spoelstra down in Miami. Head of the pack, this is Cunningham. And Motorcade is fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line.
In transition. They've got to score there. Their half-court offense sputters at times. They don't have the shooting.
Is a man in full at the age of 24. Splashes a couple of free throws. 8-0 run. Poked in the air. Stolen away by Detroit. It's a 1-on-4. And it's spoiled by Watford. Grimes.
Does things at an elite level, and it takes everyone to step up. Well, they've done it so far, guys.
Thompson is so much fun to watch. He and his brother Amen down in team athletes. It'll be fun when he's back here and playing full, doing it both ends of the floor for Detroit.
Off the page with both of those guys. In a league full of them.
Wow, somehow tapped in. I think they're going to give that to Barlow. Right place, right time.
The Philly offensive tip to go, cleaning up a miss from the perimeter.
Detroit still playing with their starting five. Cade Cunningham down on the block. Sixers have made one change. They had to. Justin Edwards was poked in the eye. He left. Dalen Terry replaced him. I do see Cameron Payne at the scores table. Payne coming off his career game the other day. Interesting story when he finally checked. Weaving against Terry. Open look. Robinson hits that more often than not. Again, it's Barlow charging with the ball down the court. That's a 6'10 player. Watford, ball fake, leaves it to Barlow. Good catch. Hit the underside of the rim. Robinson. There you go. Made up for his miss a moment ago.
Tough in transition, but a good job by Duncan to get his back three from the Pistons.
Edgecombe left it short. There's a reason he was whacked on the arm. So the young 20-year-old will go to the free throw line for the first time.
Slump, but overall, his unique talents and capabilities at all the absence of Maxey, but score, shoot, attack the rim, get to the free throw line, and defend. All VJ Edgecombe has in his bag.
Couple of changes to tell you about. Sixers bring in Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne quickly gets an assist as he hits the cutting Jabari Walker. Cameron Payne a couple of days ago, 8 for 8 from behind the three-point line. If you go a game further back, there's a steal. Edwards back into the game. He's fouled by Ron Holland. Finishing that thought on Payne. If you go back a couple of games further, he has made 10 consecutive threes. 10. NBA.
Klay Thompson.
Your hint is he's got a dairy.
Campaign said it was the same night that Bam had 83 points. So it was like actor Oscar that night.
That's a good line. Kevin Huerter has come into the game. Kevin Huerter now
playmaker, and if Duncan Robinson isn't going, Kevin Huerter's a guy who's capable. He's got to get his confidence up here.
Shot clock was down to 1 when Cunningham fired it up there. Here comes Edgecombe, 1-on-3. Huerter can't control it.
But Kevin Huerter, and exploring his ability as a playmaker, a secondary playmaker alongside Cade Cunningham that's also capable of making shots, is going to be important for the Pistons.
Look at this. Campaign is first. Milton somewhere is exhaling. He's still got the record for a bit longer.
I know you were hopeful, but I didn't expect Cam to take the first one from that team.
Here's the Dutchman, Ron Holland. Brendan Watford. Pistons answer with Holland, Huerter, Stewart, Javonte Green, welcome to the game, and Cade Cunningham. Watford looking for help. Shot clock down to 2. He was behind the backboard. And that's technically a shot clock violation as the Pistons
demonstrated that they can't find any room. And how can you? It's one of the best defenses in the league.
What a squeeze. Cade Cunningham had a sliver of daylight. He finds Stewart, and it's on the year. He has gone 25 and 10, 25 points and 10 assists. Payne to Watford. Barlow. Firing it up there, but it works.
Dom continues, he's capable of knocking down a shot or two from there.
Huerter trying to get his shot back. That's a three-pointer for Huerter. Lead is 12. High water mark so far this evening for Detroit. Barlow kicked it out of bounds. Huerter made one a moment ago. Same spot.
Yes.
Kevin Huerter.
It's going to be a real big trade to a team with a lot of expectations, and those are natural things. But just playing and having a couple breakthrough games is going to be huge for Huerter and this Piston ball club.
Huerter trying to check Watford. Forces a turnover. Here comes Holland flying down the floor. And a block. Score the goal with a foul.
Wow, and Campaign took that one right in the chin. down on the floor. And if he didn't, he's selling it.
But because of the successful challenge, wipe it away. Philadelphia can't stand their good fortune. They turn it over.
Maybe one of the best passes. Ron Holland climbs the ladder. Sweet touch pass from Cade Cunningham for that too.
They call that play the Flying Dutchman. Ball stripped away by Cunningham. Another fast break opportunity for Detroit. And Green didn't like his odds. The net is a little bit tangled right now. Holland skies for a rebound. Green. Brent, as a shooter, do you know the picture?
I did. I can't say for everybody, but I absolutely would.
It's still not perfect. Cunningham gets his hands on a lot of balls.
One way to fix that. Make your next shot down here in Detroit.
Lefty three in the corner. Marjan Beauchamp has just checked into the game. Beauchamp trying to find a home in the NBA now on his 4th team. He wears number 16 for Philadelphia. Holland. Ever since that net got a bit tangled, well, with 38 dunks on the year, we told you the Pistons lead everyone in dunks. Came into the game with 445. They've got 2 more tonight, one by Duran, one by Holland. Here's Beauchamp. Hard-fought drive for the 4th-year man.
Oh, nice touch there. You can see how Detroit is out at the 5 to 8 foot mark. Those are very difficult shots for Philly to make.
Holland got behind the defense. Green found him.
Sweet flex on the weak side.
Payne. Watford. Beauchamp. Turnover. Pistons have been in first place all season long. They're coming off a 4-game losing streak. They snapped it on Tuesday with a win in Brooklyn. Every team has a rough patch. Grimes. Got his own miss. Got it clean. Cunningham took it from him. And Beauchamp is fouled. Got horse-collared by Beef Stew.
Yeah, we'll see if the referees want to have a look at that few possessions for Philly. And well, they're still within striking distance, just down.
Stewart. Gets some retribution on the other end. 5 dunks on the year. VJ Edgecombe back into the game. Pass is deflected. Beauchamp. And we've got a foul away from the ball on 3 seconds. It'll be a defensive 3-second.
Stewart as Grimes gets to the free throw line.
First point in our game for Quentin Grimes. How did you do it, Bones, when you played in your different teams? Who do you
kind of started
doing technicals on your clubs?
I was.
Okay.
Not as good as I should have been, but I was.
If you weren't shooting underhand.
I was not.
Watford left it short. Danis Jenkins back into the game. That's a nice low dribble from him. Look at Jenkins quicker than walking the baseline like Steve Smith.
Jenkins.
Grimes just tried to Smitty. Didn't work. Barlow.
Again, they're going to settle with Philly knocking they can. I think interesting for Philly too. Can VJ Edgecombe in the minutes that he's playing? He's supposed to be the point guard. He's 1 of 6. Does he stay aggressive offensively? Can he make plays? See if he can get something going for Philly.
Duran just had a shot blocked for the 67th time this year. He's in the top 5 in that category. Kind of surprising. Duran's got it. Stronger than 10 rows of onions. They can getting their shot blocked. They're always elite. We're talking like Zion Williamson a couple years ago, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green. There's no shame in getting your shot blocked in the NBA.
Just to get himself into this basketball game. 1 of 6. Took the ball there. Strong to the basket, got fouled. Now he's at the free throw line to put a couple points on the great Vinnie Johnson, the great player here. Yeah, Torian Prince, 2 great former Pistons. 6 years of producing some guards that are playing in this league at a high level.
Javante Green, 3-pointer and a foul. Oh, the junkyard dog, now known as the guy who's firing up threes. But not only is he hit the 3, but he
came up smarting a little bit after that 3. So we'll see if Devante's okay coming back down to the defensive end.
Rare 4-point play for Detroit is Paul Reed, backup center. Spent the first part of his career playing for Philadelphia. Here's Grimes. Good strength for Quentin Grimes. Looked like his brother skating down the ice. Chance for a three-point play for Quentin. Talking before the game, Quentin Grimes actually has gray hair littering it. 14-point game. Sasser running the point with Cunningham chilling. It's Reed, Robinson, Jenkins, and Harris rounding out the 5 for Detroit. Sasser leads it short, rebounded Barlow. The hot hand lately. Grimes doing his thing. After a score right with that technical free throw miss.
You're not going to keep him down. Grimes is going to keep going. Had such a great stretch in the second half of the season for Philly. Capable scoring.
Harris, he's done this before. It was touched on the way up by Grimes. It'll stay with Detroit. Reed waits for Jenkins. Hands it off to Robinson. Shot clock's down to 3. That's a grenade. Good Beauchamp. Transition 3. Foul. Arjun Beauchamp. Showed you why he was a former first-round pick.
And confident shot just in transition. Not where but the rim. Beauchamp able to hit the 3.
7-0 run for the visitors. Trying to entry pass you, Christina. Sixers start up the third quarter the way they began the game. Edgecombe
first half. They have been a terrible third quarter team offensively and defensively this year. We'll see. This group has a unique chance because it's never combined, but we'll see if they can respond here in the third.
Sasser getting the start with Asard Thompson not available. He misses
the second chance point for the Sixers. 15 to Detroit's 5. This was supposed to be an interior paint point, be aggressive type of game for the Detroit Pistons, and they've not mustered much action down in the paint.
Shot clock was down to 3, and Watford. That was a point guard defending Watford. Jalen Duren from the clouds. Second dunk of the ball game for
awesome. Just complete power.
Quentin Grimes, a scoreless first quarter, but a totally different player since.
In and knocking down some threes. There'll be some energy from those two.
Duren showing you what he is all about. He's got the first 4 of the third quarter for Detroit and a free throw coming.
2 highlight buckets for
151 dunks on the year. Only Rudy Gobert with more. And Gobert
5 more points a game for this Detroit offense. That is huge for them, along with his ability to drive the basketball. It's something that JB talked about with us before the game, where he's becoming to the free throw line.
Duren bounces it over to Sasser. Duren had it for a moment. Cleared away. Deflected out of bounds by Cunningham. Let's check in with Christina with more about Jalen.
Accolade, but he came into the season the best shape of his career after a conversation with JB Bickerstaff. He said it allowed me to start the season in a good rhythm, and it's making a difference even now. Coach telling us he's making a big difference on both ends of the floor and even season.
Thank you, Christina. Harris turning back the hands of time.
A sweet handle around the back to himself to set up more room, and then deciding between Tobias and Jalen.
Another 10-assist game for Cade Cunningham.
Just go back to Christina's point about Jalen and the most all played significant minutes, but then there's the role players that really stepped up. Colin Gillespie, Ryan Rollins, Keontae George, Anthony Black in Orlando. So lots of candidates this year, and great to see that guys and get an opportunity can show you a little bit more what they're capable of.
Duncan Robinson with the left hand. I say it once again, he is more than just a straightaway shooter. This is a guy who put the ball 31. That is a point guard who understands where
deflections tonight. How many chances have they had to just tip passes? Philly's trying to find angles that are just not there.
Beauchamp had a really good first half. Score Edgecombe and Grimes. Detroit stays as is. They're playing with their 5 starters.
Somehow Detroit finding a way to get Duren involved with his size.
Duren, body's just flopping off of it.
Possession right there.
Stronger than 10 rows of gargles with thumbtacks. Quentin Grimes. Walker. That's a nice finish.
Great feed from Grimes on the timing there, just making sure that he, before dropping that off for Jabari to get the layup.
Duncan Robinson. Head and shoulder fake, had it blocked by Edgecombe. Piece of that. Edgecombe turns Robinson around, gives it up to Grimes. Sasser. Another rebound, Durant. Robinson. Going up, he left the wrong man open.
You just got to be so intense. Rebound, you got to scramble out to the shooters, especially Duncan Robinson.
Payne flips it high off the window and in. To the rim. Another dunk. Durant assisted by
Ability to seal down low.
Another. Cunningham stops, starts, had it knocked away by Beauchamp.
Getting up into Cade Cunningham, both full court and half court, just trying to hound him as much as possible.
Again, Philadelphia loses track to the shooter. Duncan almost a steal by Sasser. Edgecombe. Not had it. Sasser blocked by Edgecombe. Beauchamp, transition three.
There's no five-man to challenge him physically.
Another basket at the rim by Detroit. Give the assist to Cunningham. Two more.
The 20 assist watch here.
Detroit's record for assists in a game, 25. Kevin Porter did that way back when. The other Kevin Porter. They have a brother who plays in the NHL. Pretty cool. 1 out of 2 for Grimes. Tallest NHL player, 6'8". 4 inches taller than his brother who plays in the NBA.
Interesting.
Javonte Green into the game. Second three-pointer for the veteran Green.
4 to 10 in the quarter. Knocking down shots. Defensive intensity is picked up.
Another hand on a basketball. It's picked up by Payne, who nonchalantly tosses it up. It is 21. Herter waiting at the scorer's table for Detroit. And a bad screen set by Seth.
Half court.
Payne. Corkscrew jumper of his. When he gets hot, though, he gets hot. Uh-oh. It's a mismatch. And Payne forced to foul Beef Stew.
Pistons coaching staff does a really good job of making sure that it is a great opportunity to find your big down low against the small.
Durant sits. Stewart is the man in the middle for Detroit. Stewart grew up in Rochester, New York. So Beef Stew always wore 33 everywhere he went. But you can't wear that here in Detroit. They retired that a long time ago for Grant Hill. Let's check in with Christina. More on Beef Stew.
Well, Beef Stew is also kind of the enforcer on this team, and it's I'm always going to be out there having my teammates back, but it's also something that you just can't fake. He said, I know the history with his organization, and I know they had a lot of enforcers try to get in the game and set the tone.
Thank you, Christina. Yeah, I've had a number of conversations over the years with Isaiah. He's a prince, but you get him on the floor, and he is a beast. Score the goal, Justin Edwards, good follow. Green. He's pushed off his path, and Javonte Green will shoot 2 free throws.
Here we are.
Redeem the team. And he's never worn a college number, which was 3, and retired at Radford. Any feathers, that you want to play ball. Justin Edwards trying to get past Holland. That's a nice move. Second-year man Edwards.
Yeah, tough shot. I thought Holland tossed back over and hit about a 12-foot float shot.
Cunningham's played this entire third quarter for Detroit. Ooh, that's a nice little semi-sham guy. And Isaiah Stewart stepped on the end line. That was a spin move with the dribble for Cunningham that was brought into the NBA.
Don't believe it. Happy birthday, Christina Payne.
Awesome stuff. We all got a little bit.
And how about Bernie Bickerstaff? Just 40 years at JB before the game. Eric, you had asked him about what part of your dad and
entrusted by the Houston Rockets, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and now the Detroit Pistons to be the head coach. And he is faced Bob Dandridge, Mitch Kupchak, Kevin Greavy, Wes Unseld. Score the goal, VJ Edgecombe. Team, but hadn't been able to play, dealing with that hand injury. But he still leads the NBA in points scored.
He's had unbelievable all-NBA year, but he's on the cusp here, right, for games played. I think he has to play 4 more games before the season's end. But he is.
He still wants it, and he's fouled on the catch. Edgecombe had it blocked from behind. Been a rough night for Edgecombe. And a block on the other side. Grimes. Ball finds Green. Terry. Again, Stewart unafraid to challenge. Quentin Grimes is foul. Hard-earned 11 points for Grimes. Based on the
move by Nick Nurse, I mean, there's just no more room for Sixers to have players go down. And VJ, like you said, Eric, great lesson on him. Struggle offensively, move on to the next one. And a chance for Martin to get some minutes.
Devontae Green is a totally different player than he was when he came into the league. This guy's off the bench. Green now has 17 points. He's made 4 out of 6 from deep. Beauchamp put it on top of Stewart, who didn't want to get hit in the equipment again.
Nice finish. And that time Beauchamp did this go into the body of Stewart. Just created enough room to get that floater off.
Learned his lesson.
Also couldn't move Isaiah Stewart. Like he could get him early.
All in the misfire. 22% from behind the arc. Tyrese Martin is checked into the game. Tyrese Martin, the first to not be an all-star. Swirling layup. Jenkins. First 2 Tyreses in the league. Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, both becoming all-stars. Score the goal.
Can't wait for the next Arvidas to enter the league to see what you say about that guy.
You've got to be 7'3" with the strength of 10 men. Stewart. Best place for live betting and same-game parlays. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now and play your game. Philadelphia will have a day off. Their next game will be back at home. They will host Brooklyn.
As much Toronto, and then 2 games at Washington. So a real chance for them to string together a lot of wins.
And remember, Boston's playing tonight, following this one out in Oklahoma City. Tyrese Martin with a bucket. Let's check in with Christina.
Yeah, getting to that 1 seed, clinch this franchise and this team, and it would mean a lot to the city, but especially the players. And talking to Cade Cunningham, he said, you know, 2 years ago, we were at the bottom of the conference, the bottom of the league, but we still had that mindset that we could get to the top very soon. So he said it's not that...
A huge improvement, 44 wins. This year already 46 wins. Still with a full month remaining in the season. Score the goal and a foul. That is Marcus Sasser with a left hand. On like a cat on a screen door. Should they be worried considering all the injuries and what's going on?
All of these injuries are something that are all getting reevaluated, which means that it's not tomorrow, it's a couple of weeks from now. Paul George will return March 25th from his suspension.
Holland is fouled. And the Dutchman will go to the free throw line.
Another great transition opportunity.
Everybody clap your hands.
Important minutes for Herter trying to figure out his offense with his new team. For Pistons fans, just thinking about fine-tuning heading to the postseason. What's going to be the difference between Herter and Duncan Robinson? Walker with the left hand.
Well, system, 2 more weeks of playing. He'll get settled here in Detroit. It's just a matter of having him be to throw him in the game.
Remember, playing tonight for the Pistons, not in the lineup, Asar Thompson, who has turned into a really significant part of what they do. He's got to turn that
Defensive playmaking ability make up for the lack of their production from the three-point line.
into the game. First shot, Chaz Lanier, 20, second-round pick back in June. Terry got hit on the head. Chance for a three-point.
Hip to you, Eric Collins.
Before winning on Tuesday against Brooklyn. Now a decisive win here on a Thursday night against Philadelphia. All is good again here in Motown. Quarter. Another game coming your way. We still have Boston and OKC. 2 more for Walker.
Oh, Paul Reed down. Nobody.
Poked away by Martin. 4-on-2 for Philadelphia. And Beauchamp. This is a guy who's fighting for his time in the league.
And 3 times in this game, Beauchamp has just decided to pull up in transition from the three-point line, and all the shots have looked pretty good.
Holland this time will go to the free throw line.
I do.
Yeah, net taxes.
I do.
And Shea Gilgeous, did he break Wiltz?
Yeah, he sets it, right?
He set the race. He's currently tied with Wilt, still
amazing.
the Dipper
In the 40s now, 45, 46.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a long way off, but there's some MVP chatter in LA.
Second consecutive blowout win for the Detroit Pistons. This has allowed J.B. Bickerstaff to sit his starters for large swaths of the game and almost the entire fourth quarter.
And that is massive for them. So sharing the ball, getting everybody involved, taking the lead, and then giving this out.
24. Beauchamp had a foot on the line. Totally different categories. You don't have to be great in both of them, but they are.
Yeah,
Number one is steal.
And not ready for that kind of challenge, you're going to be in trouble.
Paul Reed gets himself a chin-up. So for Detroit, he has a team that per game to lead the NBA. J.B. Bickerstaff is going to smile when he takes a look at the box score post.
Done in Boston. Definitely has a chance.
Philadelphia licked their wounds. They'll head back home. They'll be back in the short pants on Saturday, taking on Brooklyn. Chaz Lanier went strong, all for naught. Now we'll try 3. Shot clock's off. Terry. Wow, that was a YMCA move. And the Pistons, they keep rolling along. They now have 47 wins. That is tops in the Eastern Conference. They're 47-18 through their first 65 games. So they now move